Hey guys, what's going on? It's Ash here coming at you today in Raid Shadow Legends. Today we're going to talk about Underpriest Brogni, talk about the fusion that is upcoming in just over 15 days from the time of this recording. So we have a little bit of a runway here to operate in terms of preparing for this fusion, something we are not very acquainted with inside this game. So we're going to talk about kind of how best to prepare, and moreover, is it worth investing in this champion overall? So quickly, let's take a look. First of all, aesthetically, hard to imagine exactly what he's going to look like when he has the animations in game, but overall seems to be a pretty cool looking dude. He is obviously a dwarf legendary support type champion in the magic affinity. So for his skills here, this is provided to us directly by Plarium. This is not data mined or anything like that. Let me go ahead and make it a little bit bigger so you guys can go ahead and read along. There we go. So before we get into his kit here, guys, two quick notes. Number one is we don't know how many books it's going to take to fully book this dude up. If I had to be glass half empty, which I'm going to err on the side of being because of recent history, fragment infusion champions tend to be a little bit book intensive. So I'm going to guess that there's going to be a lot of books on this champion, but you're also going to be able to reduce the cooldowns of these abilities quite a bit as well. So we're just going to kind of hypothesize what those might be, and also we don't know if he's going to be a damage based on defense champion, HP, or attack based champion, because he is again a magic legendary support dwarf champion. We do know that because he's support, I'm going to assume that it's either defense or attack, otherwise it would have said HP. Usually that's the case, and I'm going to go ahead and err on the side of him being a defense based champion. On the A1, attacks one enemy, 45% chance of placing an HP burn debuff for 2 turns. Really solid for the A1. Again, we don't know how much more booked that can be as well. On the A2, it's an AoE attack, which is important to remember. Has a 75, we're going to say it's 100 when booked, chance of removing 1 buff from all enemies. Also has 100% chance when booked of removing 1 random debuff from all allies, and then increases the value of shield buffs on all allies by 30% of the damage inflicted. Very, very cool. We haven't seen a kind of shield rebuffer ever added to the game, so very unique in that regard. Now, that 30% is off of the damage inflicted off of an AoE attack. So think miscreated monster all over again in terms of having that OP shield that is based on an AoE attack's damage. That is a really magical thing inside this game, so I'm going to assume that's going to be a huge buff to all shields, and it feels like they're adding more and more shield champions more recently into the game. It's going to bring me to another point in just a moment here. I'm going to assume that's going to be a 3-turn cooldown, but we don't know. On his A3, he plays a block debuffs buff and an increased attack buff on all allies for 3 turns. So already good, right? And then places a shield buff on all allies for 2 turns equal to 30% of this champion's max HP. The shield buff cannot be removed. So an unremovable shield, and then increase attack, and then block debuffs for 2 turns. I'm going to assume this is going to be booked down to a 4-turn. If it was a 3-turn book down, it would be one of the best champions inside the entire game, if not the best. Definitely up there with like Valkyrie and Warlord, all of the kind of quintessential hard to get OP shield champions in the game. They add more to the table than just shield as well, right? Not one-dimensional, but multi-dimensional. So on his passive, whenever an ally under shield buff is attacked, reflects 25% of the damage inflicted on the shield back to the attacker. So the remaining damage, it also is going to take 25% of that remaining damage and also heal that ally. So if the ally is low on HP, but they have this shield, you guys know how it is. Before the shield's removed, they might be stuck with a sliver of HP. You're going to get a nice heal in there before that as well. If there are multiple champions of this skill, only one will activate whatever, right? So all in all, guys, Underpriest Brogni seems like a pretty good champion. Not pretty good, very, very good. Excellent, as in the type of champion that we haven't had fusions for in a long while. He is one of my favorite champions going to be out there, and I'll tell you what, these old school fusions, I'm not going to lie to you guys, I'm just going to be real, I hate them.
You know how much I sacrificed?
I hate them because it makes Raid Shadow Legends for me seem like it's more of a job than a game. It really does. I have to have my eyes on all these events. You know, I want to have a life outside Raid Shadow Legends, honestly, guys. So I am not a fan. I like fragment summons for whatever reason. I just find them so much more manageable than having to not just collect the champions and or fragments, but then have to level them up and ascend them and fuse them. Ooh, that extra step to me is painful. I don't know if everybody feels the same way that I do on that, or if I'm the only one, but I hate fusions. But anyway, this dude's a beast, man. He is a real game changer. And I'm not saying that to be hyperbolic clickbaity here on the channel. I'm saying that because this is really, really cool. The added value of shields in itself, assuming especially that's a 3-turn cooldown, that's going to be worth building, worth going through the monotonous fusion, the toiling fusion process inside this game, and then the block debuffs and an increased attack. I picture this dude, if you do take the time to fuse this guy, I do think he'd be there with Archmage Helmet, Scylla the Drakes, like champions that you can rely on as a dependable mid-game, early game, and most importantly, end-game option for almost anybody in the game, you know? Me, I'm a big pay-to-win guy on my main account, right? But if I got Scylla the Drakes on my main account, which obviously I did, I'll still use her because she's that good. This is the same type of champion. I'm not saying he's a free champion. I'm just comparing it to that certain champion that only comes along a few times a year. I really think he's that good. Let me know if you disagree with me, guys. And more importantly, let me know why you disagree with me. One quick mention here before we get into some like quick fusion tips for you guys. Basically, I'm just going to tell you what I'm doing. I'm not going to tell you how to play your account. Ayumi Love. Big fan of this website, and they have all the ignore shield skill champions in the game. The reason I'm mentioning this here, guys, is because these are champions that you might want to just kind of have an eye on. If you have them in your vault, maybe you start leveling them up, wait for an event to start leveling them up though, or a tournament, but you might want to start leveling these guys up just to have an ignore shield option on your team, especially for the arena. As I mentioned before, when I got into this game about 2 years ago now, shield was kind of niche. There was a few shield champions out there, don't get me wrong, with skills, but you know, shield artifact set right now, it seems like people, you know, the word is out for the last year or so that shield's really, really good. Shield's one of the best buffs inside the game. So because of that, and they're adding more and more shield champions to the game at the same time, right? So because of that, sometimes you want to kind of zig while everybody else is zagging, right? Or at least be in the position that if arena turns into every team automatically has a shield at some point because there's so many OP shield champions, you might want to have, I'm not saying that you have to drop everything and invest in these champions, but you might want to say, you know what? Finally, I have a reason to invest in Lua. I was on the fence. Faceless, same thing. Finally, I'm going to go ahead and add him to the list of champions that I'm working on. Again, I don't want to overstate this. It's mainly for PvP, for the arena, but you never know what they're going to do for Doom Tower 2. They could add, you know, all shielded up teams. It feels like it is that way anyway half the time, you know, on higher levels of hard. So just kind of wanted to bring this to your attention. You might want to consider investing in an anti-shield and ignore shield. And again, you go into, I think it's the Lucky Shot ability here of Lua. Where is it? Yeah, Lucky Shot will totally ignore shield buffs on the champions. So kind of looking for those type of abilities just in case things continue along these trends. So I'm going to leave you guys with some quick tips basically on from my account directly, kind of how I'm handling things. So I did a shard opening video yesterday, guys. Now I am no longer going to open anything. So right now on my main account, I'm not sitting pretty with a bunch of ancient shards. I have a few sacreds. I've gotten all these sacred shards from Clan Boss. Guys, I mean, there's a laundry list of chores to do every day inside this game, but I'm telling you what, I'm really trying, especially lately, to not skip Clan Boss, because guys, if you are at the point right now where you're able to beat Nightmare or Ultra Nightmare, especially on Clan Boss, man, you're going to be looking really good. Even, okay, well, you can get Ancients and Void Shards even from Brutal. Even hard too. Can you get void shards from hard? Let's see. Yeah, you can get void shards from hard as well. Normal? Can you get them from normal? Yes, as a very rare drop from normal. The point I'm trying to make here, guys, is try to get all your clan boss attacks in every day now. Try to get all 3 in if you can, because that's a great place to get resources, mainly shards, that you're going to need in books, right? Eventually, if you get the champion, that you're going to need for these events that come through. You guys already know the events. I'm not going to repeat all the tips that we told here 100 times on the channel. Long story short, start stockpiling shards now if you can. I am ignoring, and I'll be true to my word here because you'll see the content on the channel. I'm going to be ignoring any double opening event that comes in the next 15 days or whatever. I'm going to be saving all of my silver for the next 15 days. I'm not upgrading anything. I might, spend $1 million here on artifacts or so, but for the most part, I'm going to start farming spider, right? I'm going to farm spider pretty much every night with my auto battles now. I need to get the Shadowkin accessories anyway, so, who cares? Let's do it. So I'm going to try to stockpile silver. And what I'm going to do is I know these events. We know all these events. They're the same as everything else, right? It's upgrade artifacts, play certain dungeons, and summon champions, right? And upgrade champions. And you guys know this tip already, but we told it here many times again on the channel. But when you're upgrading champions, don't upgrade them all the way to max, because you don't get points for that. I mean, you do get points, but take a champion that's level 1. Right? Have a bunch of level 1 scrub champions ready to go. Nothing against you, Gala. You're a great champion.
Oh my God. Thank you.
But have them already, and then you can see how many levels I'm getting. Boom, 25 levels off of 6 potions there. And now if I do it again, obviously, I'm going to get much less levels. And you get points per level, okay? So make sure that you guys aren't just sitting there. I mentioned this because I saw a real-life friend just got into Raid, right? And he was sitting there taking every champion to level 50 or 40 or 60. And just kind of grinding away all his potions. And I'm like, wait, you can, just get them to level like 50 or 25 or something like that, and then move on to the next champion. At least get all your champions upgraded that far if you're just trying to do it for the event or the tournament, okay? So essentially, I am not spending anything. I am saving. It's only 2 weeks.
I got nothing but time.
And this guy is a difference maker. This guy is a game changer. So saving energy is a weird one, right? So at the end of the day, just make sure that if you're going to spend on anything in this game to make these events easier, and again, I'm not a proponent of you guys spending money on this game, but if you're going to, if you're like, Ash, I'll spend $10, I'll spend $100, whatever it may be for this event, make sure you're spending it on energy, right? Unless you're just going to absolutely all whale out and it doesn't matter to you. Spend on energy during these events, okay? Because everything's going to take energy for the most part. Besides the summoning and the artifacts, everything else, all the dungeon stuff, it's going to take energy to go ahead and accomplish. So again, no summoning. Looking at me probably in the mirror, right? No summoning, no excess spending right now. Save everything. No opening shards, nothing. Save everything for the big event, guys, and let me know if you think this champion is as worth it as I do. And of course, make sure that you have your, you can always farm Potion Keep as well, right? Arcane Keep, to have you ready there for, obviously, to have all the potions that you need to start ascending all of these champions for the fusion. So guys, we're going to go ahead and end it there. Thank you so much for watching all the way till the end, and as always, take care, guys.